In 2027, 3 years after defeating Mecha-Godzilla, Kong races through the Hollow Earth, pursued by wart dogs. He traps and crushes most of them and scares off the rest. While preparing to eat, he feels pain from an infected tooth and notices the reptilian titan Doug stealing part of the carcass. Kong struggles with Doug, but is distracted by a mimicking parrot frog. Dr. Eileen Andrews, head of Kong Research, explains that the Hollow Earth is largely unmapped, and Kong searches in vain for others of his kind, unaware he is the last. She assures that Kong and Godzilla will stay at peace as long as Kong remains underground and Godzilla on the surface. Godzilla continues to protect humanity, defeating Scylla and Rome. At Monarch Outpost 1 in the Hollow Earth, agents detect seismic activity and a signal with 3 spikes where Kong fought the wart dogs. In Barbados, Gia, Andrews' adopted daughter, has a vision of Godzilla, pyramids, and a new titan. She repeatedly draws a 3-spike pattern, matching Monarch's detected signal. Andrews realizes the significance of Gia's drawings and seeks help from Bernie Hayes, host of the Titan Truth podcast. Bernie agrees to help when he learns of Gia's drawings and the matching signals. In exchange, he requests a trip to the Hollow Earth. They rush off after learning Godzilla has awakened. Godzilla leaves Rome, while Kong emerges from the Hollow Earth portal in Barbados, suffering from an infected tooth. Monarch sedates Kong, and Titan veteran trapper Beastly replaces the tooth with a titanium one. Beastly assures Andrews about Gia, calling her a great mom. Gia urges Kong to rest. Hayes finds historical records of similar signals, concluding it is a psychic distress call. Monarch director Hampton authorizes a small team to investigate. Andrews, Beastly, pilot Michael, and Gia, who feels the call is meant for her. Hayes joins the mission. They follow Kong through a portal in a redesigned Hollow Earth aerial vehicle, or HEAV, avoiding winged vertices using biomimicry camouflage. Godzilla raids a nuclear facility in Montagnat, France, absorbing radiation and destroying drones. Hampton informs Andrews, but the HEAV is out of range. They find Outpost 1 in ruins, with all staff dead and a giant ape handprint that doesn't belong to Kong. Beastly finds an intact security camera. Kong explores a chasm and finds a cavern with mammoth crystals and skulls of monstrous apes. Behind the waterfall, he discovers a second layer of Hollow Earth and meets Suko, a young ape. After Suko bites his finger, Kong chases him and is attacked by 3 larger apes, Stone Fist, Catcher, and One Eye. Kong defeats them and demands that Suko lead them to their origin. Andrews recovers footage showing the attacking ape's eye. The HEAV receives another distress call and briefly loses power. G identifies a ridge as the call's source. The team lands and begins a forest trek, but Michael is eaten by a creature resembling a fallen tree. The others flee, with Beastly quoting Tennyson to console Hayes. Godzilla leaves Europe via Cadiz, Spain, emitting too much radiation for fighter jets to approach. A US Navy submarine reports he's heading to the Tiamat's lair in the Arctic Ocean. Gia discovers ancient eerie ruins and a carving of Mothra. A glowing dragonfly leads her to a stone button, triggering an irrigation system. They follow the water to a strange barrier, and Gia creates an opening. Kong and Suko watch warbats hunt hellhawks. Suko lures a downed viper to attack Kong, who kills it after a struggle. Kong offers some of the creature's meat to a wary Suko, who eventually accepts and sits closer to Kong. Godzilla fires his atomic breath into Tiamat's domain, narrowly missing a submarine. Tiamat emerges and constricts Godzilla, but he kills her with a blast of atomic breath and enters her lair. Andrews' group ascends stairs, and Gia senses they are not alone. Camouflaged Iwi warriors surround them and lead them to a village with glowing pyramids and multiple vortexes to the surface. Gia telepathically shares her memories with the Iwi Queen, who orders her guards to stand down. Gia confirms this distress call came from the Iwi. Hayes wonders what could frighten the civilization surviving in the Hollow Earth. Suko guides Kong across a bridge of monster bones towards a volcanic area, where Andrews' team learns from the Iwi Queen about a history of harmony between the Hollow Earth and the surface, protected by titans and great apes. The malevolent Scar King's failed conquest led to his imprisonment by Godzilla in a fiery realm, where he plots revenge. In a cavern filled with toiling apes, Kong intervenes when a guard abuses an ape named Boots, knocking him out. The Scar King arrives, mocking Kong as the other apes, including Suko reluctantly, bow to him. Gnarled Finger defends Suko, but the Scar King kicks him into a lava lake, enraging Kong. A battle ensues where the agile Scar King disarms Kong with his whiplash and summons a changed reptilian titan, Shimo, to attack. Kong evades Shimo's attack, but loses his axe when his hand freezes over. With Suko's help, Kong escapes, pursued by the Scar King's forces. Andrews identifies Shimo, whose frost powers caused the last ice age, and realizes the Iwi's distress call was intended for Kong to face the Scar King's army, prompting Godzilla's preparations for war. According to Iwi prophecy, Gia from Skull Island would summon Mothra to defend her people in times of peril. Kong leads apes to his hunting grounds, using traps to dispatch some, but the rest evade his traps. Suko triggers a rock slide that crushes the apes, saving Kong. They leave together as One Eye survives. using Nob as a shield, while Godzilla continues absorbing energy inside an ice block. Andrews observes Gia integrating well with the Iwi and considers the sacrifices he might have to make for Gia's better life. Beastly advises Hayes against exposing the Iwi civilization to the outside world, highlighting the risks of disrupting isolated communities. He reassures Hayes of the value of his contributions, regardless of public opinion. The Iwi grant Kong and Suko entry into their realm, allowing One Eye a glimpse of their portals. Kong touches Gia's hand, signaling his loss of home. One Eye reports to the Scar King, who marches to a war with Shimo and 4 apes. Meanwhile, an evolved Godzilla emerges spikier and emitting a pink display from the ice. Beastly suggests using Project Powerhouse's prototype to aid Kong, designed to empower him against malevolent titans after Mechagodzilla's defeat. The Beast Glove fits around Kong's injured hand, healing his frostbite. After adapting to the glove, Kong tests its electrical capabilities. Suko warns of the Scar King's advancing army. Gia urges Kong to seek Godzilla's help, prompting him to head for a portal. Kong surfaces near Egypt's Giza Pyramid, immediately sensed by Godzilla, who swims towards him. Gia, atop the Iwi pyramid, resurrects Mothra, who heads for the same portal as Kong. The Iwi Queen orders an evacuation, while Beastly seeks permission to gather reinforcements. In Cairo, Godzilla confronts Kong, tackling him into the Great Pyramid. Kong blinds Godzilla with sand, but is repeatedly slammed into the structure. Using his glove, Kong lands a barrage of blows on Godzilla, attempting to drag him towards the portal. Godzilla responds with his atomic breath, pinning Kong down for a finishing blow. Mothra intervenes, pushing Godzilla away with an energy pulse. Atop the Great Sphinx, Gia calms Godzilla, and all 3 monsters roar defiantly. The Iwi merge 2 large electromagnetic pyramids to trigger an anti-gravity shockwave. The Scar King breaches the barrier with Kong's axe and commands Shimo to freeze the gap between the pyramids. Beastly returns with verticines, briefly delaying the Scar King's army before they are shot down by Shimo. Godzilla and Kong charge into battle as the pyramids collide, unleashing a powerful shockwave. Godzilla and Kong engage in intense battles against their adversaries. Kong utilizes the Beast Glove to block the Scar King's attacks, while Mothra intervenes to save the malfunctioning HEAV and disable 2 apes. Suko defends Kong by hurling boulders at One Eye. Shimo momentarily freezes Godzilla, but Mothra disrupts her with a rock, allowing Godzilla to break free and resume his assault. As the anti-gravity wave subsides, all monsters plummet towards vortexes. The Scar King heads for one, followed by Godzilla, hides the HEAV down, while Suko dispatches One Eye off a crystal cliff to his demise. In Rio de Janeiro, the Titans emerge amidst chaos. Shimo freezes an incoming wave, and the Scar King blankets the sky with frost clouds. Kong and Godzilla coordinate their attacks. Kong dislodges the Scar King's tooth and lands a flying kick, but Shimo obstructs further blows. Suko retrieves Kong's axe through a portal. The Scar King launches a building top at Kong, countered by his glove. Shimo drags Kong through the city, unleashing frostbite attacks barely deflected by his glove. Godzilla blasts the Scar King with atomic breath, seizes the whiplash, and destroys its tip, sending the crystal to the ground. Suko shatters the crystal with Kong's axe, staggering all combatants. Kong frees Suko from the Scar King's grip, hurls him to Godzilla, who tail whips him back to Kong. With the crystal destroyed, Shimo obeys Godzilla, encasing the Scar King in ice, and Kong shatters him. Godzilla dispels the frost clouds with his atomic breath. Mothra returns Gia to Andrews, who reassures her daughter about their bond and supports her decision to stay with the Iwi. Gia affirms their inseparable connection, declaring Andrews as her true home. They share an emotional embrace, observed by Hayes and Beastly. Mothra seals the barrier with her silk and flies away elsewhere in Hollow Earth. Andrews' team say their goodbyes to each other and the Iwi. Godzilla returns to the Coliseum for another nap. Kong and Suko, now riding atop Shimo, return to Scar King's cave to declare their freedom, and the jubilant apes roar along with them, accepting Kong as their new leader. The new empire overwhelms with an abundance of elements, resulting in sensory overload. Wingard, a devoted fan of both title characters, might have gone too far to connect, save for some very well done moments between Kong and his Hollow Earth kin. Thank you very much for watching the whole video. And if you have a movie or TV show that you want us to cover, just comment it down below. We'll make a video of it in the future. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out our playlist for more recaps.